Hi everyone, Sharon LeCain here with AveryHess Realtors, and we are back here talking about information for first-time homebuyers. So last week we talked about choosing your realtor, and this week we're going to go over a little bit of vocabulary to help you understand realtor representation. So when you hire your realtor, you definitely want to have that conversation and make sure you know how they're going to represent you. In Virginia, we have seller representation, buyer representation, and dual representation, and then as well as designated. So we're going to talk about what each of those are. So if you're a buyer buying your home and you sign a buyer representation agreement with your realtor is obligated to represent you and your best interests only. They can do some clerical duties, if you will, for the other side. They can provide any information that is accessible to anyone in the public. So they can, for instance, give them information on square footage of the house, the type of heating system, anything like that. They can give them information on, but they're certainly not going to give them any financial information or anything that would cause them maybe to have a better advantage when it comes to the contract. And then on the flip side, if you're selling your house, you will sign a listing agreement with your realtor, and it most likely will be exclusive and having your realtor represent you only and not the buyer on the other side. So all of that works the same, it's just in reverse. And then there's dual agency. And you'll have to decide whether or not this is going to work for you in your situation or not. It can be good, it can be bad. You need to figure that out and have those conversations on if it's a good thing in your situation or maybe not the best ideal. So you can work on that. But basically in a dual representation, it's exactly what it sounds like. The realtor is going to represent both sides of the party. And in that case, they have fiduciary duties to both the seller and the buyer, and it does become a little bit complicated. So like I said, it just depends on the needs of both sides, the buyer and the seller, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. But they're required, your realtor is required to disclose that to you, which way they're going if they're representing both sides. And actually both sides of the party, the buyer and the seller, have to sign saying that they understand what's going on and that each party is okay with that in order to do that. So then there's designated representation. So what is that? So oftentimes, if I'm representing you as a buyer and we happen to find a listing, a home for sale, and the listing realtor, the realtor representing the sellers, happen to also be from the same brokerage as me, AveryHess Realtors, then we're going to talk to the broker and have them designate that it's okay for me to represent the buyer, for realtor B to represent the seller. You're each still going to have your own individual representation. There's not going to be any conflict there. But again, it is a required disclosure. So everybody has to be aware, everybody has to know what's going on, and everybody has to sign and agree that that's okay. So those are the basics of realtor representation. If you have any questions on that, feel free to comment below, and I will answer all of your questions as they come in. And we look forward to seeing you next week. All right, bye-bye.